And my father had been at Menaul School for some Presbyterian minister conferences, and he loved the school, and he went back to Pueblo and told us, he told me and he told my sister Estella and my sister Anna Marie that that is the place where we were going to get an education. And we got on a bus and came to Menaul School.
I came to Menaul from 6th through 12, graduated in 2001. So I was just a 6th grader when I got here, and this place seemed so huge to me back then. And you know, being in a completely different school with all new people and being in middle school for the first time, it was exciting but also scary.
Well, for my first day, really, I was kind of confused, but then I thought of what it would be like to go to academy, and then felt like I was very fortunate that the campus is kind of easy to memorize here. Plus, I made a lot more friends than I would have anywhere else.
I came in 6th grade. I'm a senior, so I've been here for 7 years.
Well, I've been here since 6th grade, and I'm a sophomore now, so I've been here for about 5 years. And I first came here, and my cousins and my family has a long line of people that have gone here and graduated from here, so it was really important for me to come here.
The first day I actually got lost on campus, and I was running around trying to find my first and second class. I ran into my sister. Menaul means a lot to me because both my brother and my sister came here, and just to be like the last one trying to graduate.
I came here in 7th grade, a little intimidating, but like every school, but there was always someone that you could talk to.
I've been going to school here since 6th grade.
I first came to Menaul in 6th grade. I thought it seemed like a pretty energetic school.
I first came in the 6th grade, and right now I'm in the 12th grade, about to graduate in May.
My first year here at Menaul was actually pretty good. I actually enjoy it once you get to know the kids, and the teachers are great.
It hasn't changed too much, but if it has been for the better with this now and just with the new teachers and everything.
I like the classes and the teachers. I like the campus a lot.
Going to Menaul in 6th grade. Been here ever since. Pretty cool. Except auditorium, yeah, smells like it's twice as old as the building, if not more.
In 1942, I was the only sophomore that was on the football team, and we were the state champions. We played the Albuquerque Bulldogs in all of the big schools in the state, and we were very good. A raggedy bunch. They wore khaki pants that were passed on from one year to another, and the sweatshirts were red and black, and they weren't always dry cleaned. So, there was the scent of last year in those shirts.
Well, I'd have to say when I first came to Menaul, I knew very little about the school. I grew up in the Four Corners area, and I knew of Menaul. I had played college football with an alum from Menaul who told me about it, and I basically was down here job searching and just came upon Menaul by chance. And the more I learned about the school's age, the more intrigued I became.
One of the things that has not changed is the position of the door that is behind me, which is the entrance to which was the entrance to Mr. Donaldson's office. His desk faced the door, and on his desk there was a sign that said something to the effect, "Why worry? Half your worries will never happen." Something like that.
One of the things that so far back, it's funny to talk about it being groundbreaking, but in 1917 when Mr. Donaldson came here, he was in his late 20s, very young as a school administrator. But he came in with a very innovative approach to education. Before that time, most of the men, primarily we're talking about men, who ran boarding schools, who ran these sort of schools, missionary educators, tended to have a very strict disciplinary approach towards managing kids. Now, that's not to say that Harper Donaldson was a pushover in discipline.
He was not quick to praise anybody, but everybody knew that he cared for you, that he looked for you to accomplish great things. He was a serious man. You would never say he was a buddy to any of the students because nobody would ever dare call him Harper. His name was Harper C. Donaldson.
But he wanted to make sure that the kids felt like this was a second home. So everything that they could, in any way that he could, he made sure that the kids came to feel this as a home away from home.
So it was not a matter of no familiarity with him, but he was so interested in each student. Anybody could walk in the door and state their problems.
The reason Mr. Donaldson was so significant was he is our longest serving head of school. He was really the third person to ever serve as Menaul School's president and superintendent, as they were known in that day.
Somebody asked him what he did. He says, well, mainly I'm a flunky, a carpenter, bus driver, janitor sometimes, and sometimes they asked me to coach the scrub team. So he had a good sense of humor.
Really significance, just having been a 37-year head of school, president of school, he really left his stamp and character on the campus. I think if you talk to alumni still living that would have graduated from the class of 1953 or earlier, they would remember Mr. Donaldson as a big part of what was great about this place. Very, very strong father figure to most of the students.
So it was a wonderful life. Here we had dinner. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at at Bennett Hall dining room. And at dinner time was special because they would read a scripture before anybody sat down to eat. They had a prayer, and they would, at that time, the boys had to pull the chair back for the girls to sit down.
Two things about Donaldson that are very amazing about the man from today's look at the time and place that Albuquerque was in the 1930s. Donaldson oversaw the introduction of female students onto Menaul School. The first class of girls came in, I think, the class of 1934 or 35. It was in the mid-30s.
He was always on the go, and he would not be denied helping young people to get an education here. Some of his friends described him as stubborn as an Ohio mule and a New Mexico burro, but he didn't mind that.
And Mr. Donaldson also made great effort to try to prove to folks back on the East Coast within the Presbyterian Church that there was no difference in intelligence between the Hispanic and still some Native American students that the school was serving at that time and the white students that they were used to back on the East Coast. There was a prevailing, bigoted or racist notion, I think, in our country at that time that felt that there was a learning curve. It was difficult to teach Hispanic students because they couldn't learn as well. Mr. Donaldson actually took road trips up to places like Chimayo and Trucas and gave tests to the kids and used that data to go back and do reports for the church and show that other than maybe having to learn English, there was no difficulty in learning on the part of those children.